All right, it's about 8:40 right now, 8:40, and I do have a guest standing by. Someone in town here who's very good at what they do. And if you're looking for a job, you might want to touch base with her. And because Marie Plett here is a resume writer and an award-winning writer of resumes. And we're just going to pose a few questions to my newfound friend, Marie Plett. Marie, good to have you on the program. How you doing?
Thanks. Great. Great to be here. And it's a beautiful wintry morning.
Isn't it, though? All right, you're in Hyde Park. You got some nice trees out there. It's snow-covered trees. That's nice. All right,
snow-covered lizards, yeah.
You are a well-decorated resume writer. You've been writing resumes for how long?
15 years.
15 years, and the award here is known as the Roar Award, recognizing outstanding achievement in resumes. And you've won this more often than any resume writer in history.
Yeah, but those are just national awards. I've also, this year for 2019, I won 7 out of 10 possible Tory awards, and those are global awards that thousands of resume writers compete for worldwide. So I'm pretty well known in my industry.
You're going to have your own wing of the house for your... Are these trophies, plaques, a little email? What do you get? A Tory.
For the Roar Awards, I get printed out certificates, and for the Tories, they are the most beautiful PDF files you'd ever want to see. But it's mostly bragging rights.
That does sound nice, a PDF file. All right, so the idea here is somebody comes to you, and would these be people looking for more elite jobs or anybody looking for any level? I mean, when somebody's competing for a top level, a CEO type position, do they go through you or people like you?
For me, I tend to attract the top-level CEOs. I'm pretty much known for graphic resumes that also get through applicant tracking software.
Yeah.
So when they go through aspirationsresume.com, they're spending thousands of dollars for any given resume and or LinkedIn profile. But yeah, I do tend to attract top creative professionals and, people who are more industry visionaries.
And I guess that's in part what you're known for, and that is getting your resumes, your clients, through the clutter of perhaps the thousands of resumes a company might receive. Yours make it through to the next level, right?
Yeah. I mean, like Google, for example, famously gets 3 million applications a year, and they'll only hire like 1 out of every 430 applications. So people will come to me or other elite resume writers to crack the Google system, to crack Google's applicant tracking software, what we call ATS, so that their resumes are seen and then respected by human readers once they get past the new robotic overlords that are these applicant tracking systems.
So then there are people in your line of work who tracks those who are most successful at that. Is that essentially where the awards come from?
No, the awards actually just come from creative writing and graphic designs. How they actually impact the job seeker is not really considered because it's a creativity judging contest. How any resume writer, though, who's been in business for a long time realizes very quickly that if you don't get the job interviews for the clients, you don't get repeat business. You get asked for refunds. So, yeah, it's very important that we learn everything we know about applicant tracking software and get to know what recruiters are looking for and hiring managers, what their preferences are in order to make our job seekers successful.
What are the most obvious mistakes the average person makes? They're looking for a job. I would think if the resume is A, too long, or B, has a lot of information in there that's not germane to that particular company. What else?
A lot of times, believe it or not, formatting issues can really trip up job seekers because people are buying these they're very cool looking templates on like Etsy by graphic designers, but they rely on text boxes. So you're just popping all of your information in text boxes, which all completely disappear. Your information just vanishes when you do these applicant tracking software. But the biggest mistake I think people make is that they don't parrot the specific words used in job descriptions, which is how you beat these systems in the first place. For example, you could be applying to identical jobs at Coke and Pepsi. Let's say you want to be a sales manager, and Coke uses the phrase sales goals, and Pepsi uses sales quotas. If you use the phrase sales objectives in your resume, you're not going to be picked up by either one of them. You won't even be seen. And 70% of all resumes that are sent through online applicant systems aren't seen at all. They just disappear.
Wow. What percentage of jobs, I mean, it's been a while, thankfully, since I've had to apply for a job. Are we at like 95% of all jobs would require an online application, online resume? Is it that high? How high is it?
Well, most, like 80% of all companies now use applicant tracking software. And if you're talking Fortune 500 companies, like now it's up to like 496 of them out of the 500 use these systems because they're so cheap and so effective in blocking all these applications. And since the dawn of the internet, people have been, applying more and more to just, kind of spamming employers. So they work actively to avoid getting overwhelmed with so many applications. So that's why you have all these new gatekeepers.
So do you deal with people all over the world? Are you more likely to deal with people locally? Do you get more people who would go through you trying to get into P&G and Kroger? Assuming you would know the most about them, I guess they would assume.
Oh, yeah. I get a lot of local business. I do a lot for people trying to get into, GE and Procter & Gamble and all the local companies, for sure. But, that's the funny thing about the global economy. I work with top executives all over America, but then I'll also serve people in, like, say, Dubai who have pretty entry-level jobs. They're just like secretaries or starting off a career in human resources, but they just want my resumes because they're the prettiest and they can afford it because a couple $1,000 American dollars is absolutely nothing to them.
So if somebody was vying for a job in Canada with a company you were unfamiliar with, you would have to do all that research you could do on that company to know how to tailor that resume.
Yes, but that's the real easy part of it because you can go on to LinkedIn.com. You can find out all about their corporate cultures. Companies are making, most of the bigger companies are making that information available on their website. But most importantly, all the secrets are held within the job descriptions they hold. You'll see most of these job descriptions tend to be very long now. They tend to go into corporate culture. They tend to talk about the values that they find most important. So it's very easy just even looking at a job description to really get into the nuts and bolts and to appeal to that specific employer.
So you've been in your line of work for how long? I guess the story in the Inquirer was what I first came across your story. It has to do with the fact your parents owned the company. When you were about 12, they asked you to go through the resumes and weed out the bad ones.
Yeah. And that's quite a power trip for a 12-year-old, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was a lot of fun, but I've been doing this professionally for 15 years when I discovered it was a profession. Before that, I used to design graphics for Victoria's Secret and Perry Ellis Menswear. I had this background in creative design, but I was more excited to be in between jobs than to actually have a job because I loved writing resumes so much. And I loved going through the interview process and the whole thing. So, yeah, I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and I founded aspirationsresume.com in 2004. Geez, I'm old. Oh, the time goes by too fast. So
have you applied for any jobs on your own that you don't want just to see if you're good at it?
No, I
See
apply. I don't, but I do get that thrill for helping family members and friends. And I go through. It's important that I go through the application process on behalf of some clients or family and friends on a regular basis, so that I'm always on top of all the newest approaches.
That's cool.
So I know how frustrating it can be. I know how annoying it is. You upload a resume and it still asks you to copy and paste all the contents of your resume separately. Yeah. I know the aggravation, believe me.
All right. Well, Marie Platt, I have to run, but your company again is aspirationsresume.com. And if I find myself in need, and I better not,
I hope not for your
I'll be in
sake.
touch. That's right. I'll be in touch. All right, Marie Platt, thanks again so much. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.
I do the same.